Y'all, we're back with some possibly questionable but very interesting UFO sightings, including one that I was skeptical about at first, and the deeper I dig, the more I start to believe it. We also have an alleged FBI memo that confirms what UFOs are and may even tell us which religion is most accurate. Let's jump in. So we're going to start with this first UFO sighting. It's from April 22nd, 2020. UFOs and Aliens UAP on Twitter posted this. In case you guys want to follow, it is aliens on earth underscore. That's their app. This is the sighting. And it's interesting because it's very similar to the one that I was skeptical about at first. Let's check it out. Or kind of just chilling, flying. And again, I get skeptical of these just because it is possible that they could be drones. However, this light does look very, very solid, and it appears to be moving briskly. And I don't know, I feel like after I show you the next one, you'll start to see why I'm feeling more confident about this one and the others. But look at this puppy just go. And I don't think it's one of those Chinese lanterns because they're usually grouped together. Another reason I don't think it's a drone is because you can usually hear a drone, and it doesn't sound like there's anything going on in this video, and there aren't people talking, so the sound would travel pretty far. So even though it looks far away, the sound would still reach you in that vast empty space with no noise pollution to block out that noise in particular, if you know what I mean. So I'm a little iffy on it. But I was more iffy on this one, and the more I look at it, the more I feel it may just be a UFO sighting. And I'll tell you why. All right. So let's check this guy out here. First off, it is pulsing, which some people are like, well, why would it pulse? That's more of a human thing. But another comment is what really defines what is human. We really don't know what UFOs are. Some of them may pulse, and I agree with that. My problem is, and I'm going to go back here to kind of show you. I see this blinking here with it, and my first thought is this is not a UFO sighting. This is someone looking out the window, and that's a reflection from within their house, and someone is flashing a light. Um, but a couple of things happened here, and this is why I started now believing it. I was skeptical at first, and now I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is. When they zoom out, the light stays there, and that pulse is intense. It is like boom, boom, boom. Like even when he zooms all the way out, you can still see it from far away. Also, when he zooms out, you can see that this thing is actually in the sky, which kind of freaked me out more because it looks so clear, even from far away. Even still, I was like, well, maybe this could be an optical illusion. Maybe it is still, in fact, a reflection. Well, someone else in that neighborhood, further down the street, captured this UFO as well on their ring cam. That's when I was like, oh, no, 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 no. This thing was in the sky. This is from the ring cam, right? I'm like, wait, 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 wait. This guy is down the block from the person recording because the person recording is a few blocks to the right, kind of recorded directly at it. Here on this ring cam, the UFO is actually right here, right where my mouse cursor is. I know you guys can see it. And you'll see that it starts as a slow, steady, very light blink, and then it brightens and starts to pulsate, just like we saw in the other video. Check it out right here. Bam! And if we look on the ring cam is much more stable than someone standing holding their phone right at a window. You saw the guy moving. So because of the ring cam, not only do we see this thing flash and pulse, but you see it's actually moving, right? Let's start. I want to put the mouse. We're over here when it starts. So I'm going to have the mouse right there. Where my little mouse cursor is, I know you guys don't like it on the screen, but I'm leaving it there so you can see how much it's actually moving. When we started, we were at this mouse cursor. It is already Look how far it is from the cursor. And this is the ring cam. So the ring cam is stationary. It is sitting in one place. These are the same neighborhoods, a few blocks apart. You can actually see the blinking or pulsing better on the person holding the phone because they had the ability to zoom in on this object where the ring cam is just sitting there protecting your house. But look at how far this thing has moved from its original positioning when it started blinking and pulsating. That, to me, is not an airplane, obviously, right? It's not a helicopter. It's not a satellite. Satellites don't pulsate like that. It's moving across the sky. I don't know. Oh, look where my mouse is, right? This is we're back at the beginning. It's actually lower. Oh no, we're not. What, did it just restart? No, maybe we are. No, that's giving us something else. Oh, look at this sucker over here. Brody, hold on. This is a new clip of it. What is this guy? I mean, that could be a plane. But here we have another pulsating little sucker over here. Actually, down here I can see this is um March 7th of 2024 at 19:07 p.m. Hold on. Okay, so this is the one we saw first is actually after. So this is before. And as we see that in the before, the pulse actually starts a lot lower. Then it transitions to that bright flashing pulse and starts moving. Because again, my mouse isn't moving. So as we're seeing here, that flashing light isn't actually moving at this point in time. This is bananas. And at first I was thinking maybe it could be the reflection of lights from like over here. But even when there are no cars passing by, it's still doing this strange blinking over here. Regardless, at first I was very skeptical of that, and I was like, it could be a reflection. But the fact that we have multiple different sources for this same UFO, and we're seeing virtually the same thing from different angles, to me, it makes it a lot more credible and a lot more believable. As for what it is, well, that's why it's a UFO, guys. It is unidentified. Oh, this mother flower starts moving to the right. Okay, and then it starts sliding over to the left, right? Because it moved over to the right, and then where the original video picked up, it was over here, and it came over this way. And then after this video starts with the next timer, we're seeing a pulsing over here, and I'm not sure if this is supposed to be that same object, but that's very strange. I don't know. I find it very interesting. I find it a little bit questionable, but very strange. And I feel like the full video and the ring cam footage added more context and perspective, which made it more believable. I'm trying to kind of just scrub through this one to see if they capture any of this movement. It doesn't seem that they do. But it's so strange to me. It does seem to lessen in intensity, kind of like what we saw in the ring cam. What is going on in our skies? And it's interesting because just yesterday the news started reporting there is an uptick in UFO sightings, which is wild because the news wasn't covering UFOs for quite some time. All of a sudden the eclipse happens, and I noticed that they're blocking the hashtags for UFOs, and then every single news station is posting about UFO. It's just very strange. Both of these, the ones that we just saw, remind me then, took me back to this other one Think Tank posted of this orb of light being seen from a plane. And again, I have the same feel like this is a reflection on the window. At least that's what I thought before. But now that I've seen those other two videos, plus the ring cam footage of the one that was in the sky, I'm thinking, could this be the same and or a similar phenomena from the plane, and we're just so used to how lights work in reflections that we automatically assume that. Now I no longer want to automatically assume this is a reflection because of what we saw in the ring light. Check it out. Let me know what y'all think about this. It does seem to even have a little bit of a pulse. Not as much as the other one we saw, but I do see it like very dimly pulsing. Some are saying that this is another craft, a little small one above it, and that it's docking. I don't know. I feel like this top one and these over here are moving with the phone. So it could be that light is so bright it is causing a glare on the lens of the camera on the phone. And as they move, that glare moves around. But more and more, I believe less that this is a reflection on the window. And I think it is actually outside because of the other UFOs that we saw. And we don't have other angles or more context for this one. This is what we have. It's very interesting. Someone even said, oh, when it disappeared, it looked like it moved left. But it didn't. It didn't. The guy or the girl, I don't know, just moved their camera. You can actually see that they're just panning the camera. When they pan the camera, it disappears from sight. And the way that it disappeared again, it made me feel like it could be a reflection. But now I'm questioning that after seeing that previous UFO. It makes me really wonder what the hell these things are. And it makes me angry that I'm not the one recording it so that I could know for a fact whether they're real or not. So those are the sightings. And then, as I said, I have this document. And we're not going to dwell too much on this document because it's a little bit harder to read because it's very, very old and it was scanned onto Twitter, which then compresses the files. I could go on. But it is very interesting. This is a legit memo sent to the FBI the very same day of the Roswell crash in New Mexico, announced July 8th of 1947, written by Meade Lane. It is incredibly accurate to modern interpretations of the UFO phenomena. But not just that. Oh, this is good. This could be divisive. Let's read it first. So it's going on about UFOs and crash. This member. Let's start from the top. The flying roll. This memorandum is respectfully addressed to certain scientists of distinct to important astronomical and military authorities, to a number of public officials, and to a few publications. The writer has little expectation that anything of import will be accomplished by this gesture. The more fact that the data herein, I'm not quite sure because it's blurred, so I can't tell whether they're O's or E's sometimes, were obtained by so-called supernormal moans is probably sufficient to ensure its disregard by nearly all of the persons addressed. Nevertheless, it seems a public duty to make it available. The present writer has several university degrees and was formerly a university department head. A very serious situation may develop at any time with regard to the flying saucers. If one of those should be attacked, oh, wait, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. If one of those should be attacked, the attacking plane will almost certainly be destroyed. Whoa, okay. In the public mind, this might create near panic and international suspicion. The principal data concerning these craft is now at the hand and must be offered no matter how fantastic and intelligible it may seem to minds of not previously instructed in thinking of this type. And that this wording right here, to minds not previously instructed to think in this type. It goes to show how everything that we do in the world, everything the government does, it's all mental manipulation, right? Including religion. These are all things. Religion, certain laws, certain cultural hand downs are a way of molding the way that we think, because it's easier to control everyone if you can get them all to believe some nonsense, right? So let's dive in here. One, part of the discs carry crow or crews. Others are under remote control. Right. So they're saying that some of the UFOs are manned by pilots, be they, extraterrestrial or interdimensional, which we will get into. And others are under remote control, essentially drones. Again, guys, this is coming from 1947, so we didn't have that technology. Keep that in mind. All right. Two, their mission is peaceful. The visitors contemplate settling on this plane. Now, I want you guys to notice it does say plane and not planet. Again, that's going to bear importance in a minute. These visitors are human-like, but much larger in size. All right, now this leads me to believe that the specific species this person saw, or the person's writing about, are the tall ones, or the tall whites, as opposed to the grays, which are seen like the worker race. From the information we've gathered, obviously, I can't confirm this. I haven't seen grays versus the whites to tell you what they're doing. But from the information we've gathered, that's how I read this. 4, they are not excarnate Earth people, but they come from their own world, right? So some people think that they live on Earth, they live underground, they live in inner Earth, or they are. This is where it gets interesting. They're from Earth in some parallel dimension. This is stating that they're not. They're from their own world, but it doesn't mean that they're not interdimensional. We're going to get into that in just a moment. They do not come from any planet as we use the word, but from an esoteric planet which interpenetrates with our own, but it's not perceptible to us. So it's not that they are on the Earth in another dimension. They're on their own planet in its own dimension. And that planet crosses with ours and interpenetrates ours very often, and we just don't perceive it or see that. But maybe that's why when we found those neutrinos was in the South Pole that were going the opposite way, and they were like, "Oh, there's a dimension where time is reversed." That could be an explanation for that. 6, the bodies of the visitors and the craft also automatically materialize on entering the vibratory rate of our dense matter. CP apports. I'm not quite sure what that means. So, and it's going to talk about them disappearing as well, but that's why they seem to just kind of pop into existence. They materialize in our dense matter from their dimension and their planet, which is usually on ours. And then when they leave, they just dematerialize, which is why it looks like to us, oh, it vanished. But it's kind of went back into its plane of existence. The disk possess a type of radiant energy or ray, which will easily disintegrate any attacking ship. They re-enter the etheric at will, and so simply disappear from our vision without a trace. So again, this is how they come in and how they come out of our reality. They come into our plane and they leave our plane. They don't leave the planet, or not in the sense that we would think. They leave this plane of existence. Now, this is where things get very interesting, and this is where we can have a little bit of a conversation. We're not going to go too deep unless you guys want to. Let me know in the comments. We can have a little mild conversation about the religious aspect of these things. The region from which they come is not the astral plane. And that astral plane, again, is for those who astral project or leave our bodies, or some would call it the spiritual realm, right? Where those beyond live. They're not from that astral plane. Where they're from corresponds with the locus and talas. And students of esoteric matter will understand these terms. And if you don't, this goes back to the old idea of the 3-tier world system, where we live in this sphere of the earth, but there are levels to it, lower levels of living up to higher levels of living. This actually falls very much in line with Hinduism, and a lot of ancient Greek mythology, as well as the Sumerian religion and texts. And the reason I say that this could give us proof as to which religion is most accurate, not right, but most accurate, is because this is to the FBI. This is someone actually researching this. We're getting information here. They're saying that where they're from is more akin to locus and talas, which is that terminology. It's a terminology that's used to describe the levels and layers of life in Hinduism and in these other older religions not just any religions, but religions that predate all of our modern religions. Remember, Hinduism is the first religion, or I not the first, I can't say that, but it is the oldest religion in history. It is older than every other religion. We have records of Hinduism that date back before any other religion existed. It is our oldest religion, followed by the Sumerians. We thought Sumerians were older until we found texts and artifacts from Hindu religion that date back even before the Sumerians' text on the walls. Like, really think about that, right? These are things that we've been thinking about since the beginning of time. People that were closer to the source, seeing these things actually happen, probably had more knowledge of it, which leads me to believe, yet again, that Hinduism is probably the most, not correct, but the most accurate as far as its interpretation of the afterlife and what possibly happens. And I think it's interesting that every modern religion, including Christianity, Catholicism, and Judaism, whether you like it or not, learn the history of your religion if you're religious, and you're going to tell me no, because I studied this. Uh, they are all interpretations of those religions. Like I said, we said before, like the flood isn't a part of the Bible; it's a part of the Hindu and Sumerian religions, which are much older, retranslated into the Bible. Like it's literally just the Epic of Gilgamesh, right? But they all come from somewhere. And I feel that just this follow, this memo, them talking about the fact that this comes from possibly Logos and Talos or something adjacent to that, leads me to believe even more that Hindu or ancient Greek or even Sumerian religion are more accurate, a more accurate representation of what actually happens within the realms of our existence than any of our modern religions today. Personally, for me, that is the most interesting part of this document. I feel that it puts a lot of things into perspective, and this could be the again, the entities that we call gods, that we call angels, that we call demons, that we call archangels, that we call jinn, that we call genie, that we've given every name under the sun to. It could just be these. And it would make so much sense because we would then have physical proof for what we consider the spiritual world. Huh, but that's a different conversation and a different rabbit hole. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comments below. And the last point they made, they probably cannot be reached via radio, but probably can be by radar if a signal system can be devised for that apparatus. And I think it's very interesting because that is how we catch them. We tend to catch them on our radar even when we can't see them with our eyes. So it's very possible that we've been working on radar to capture these and get to know these. It would also, these being from other esoteric planes of existence that aren't what we know as the planes of existence, but are different dimensions, different planes of existence, would mean that technically the government is right in saying that we have not uncovered extraterrestrial craft or extraterrestrial beings. Again, it goes back into playing with terminology and playing with the words that we use every day to trick and confuse the average citizen. It may not be extraterrestrial, but it being interdimensional is still important. However, if everyone's asking about extraterrestrial, and it's interdimensional, the government could say no because you're not asking the right question, and they're not obligated to. Obviously, they're not obligated to answer us because they haven't. They've been lying for all this time, and there could be reasons for that. There could be, hidden meaning to a lot of the things that we deem occult or that certain religions deem X, Y, or Z. Like maybe it's even we don't want to tell people about these entities because half of the world will think, oh my God, it's like the second coming of Jesus. And the other half will think it's like some evil entity and it could be an absolute disaster. Again, that's why I feel like number 8, the Logos and Talos quote, is the most important part of this document. To finalize, we give information and warning. Does that say warning page? And can do no more. Let the newcomers be treated with every kindness, unless the discs are withdrawn. Oh God, I can't really read that. With which our culture and science are incapable of dealing. Okay. A heavy responsibility rests upon the few in authority who are able to understand the matter. Interesting. Addendum, the locusts are oval shaped. Oh, fluted length. Okay, wait. So this bottom part, this addendum is actually kind of confirming that it is Locust and Talos, and that the ones from Locust are oval shape, fluted length, oval with heat-resisting metal or alloy not yet discovered, I'm assuming. Oh God, I can't. I'm going to post this full resolution in the Discord. So if you haven't joined the Discord, join it now. It's linked on my channel. And this will be in the Discord so you guys can get a better view, read it for yourselves, let me know your opinions. But genuinely, I'm shocked. Like I feel that that document has a lot more answers than we've considered. And again, just like the National Archives information and interviews, it is information that has been out there. We just have not been focusing on it or not privy to it because they don't publicize it. They put it out and it is public, but they don't publicize it, so it doesn't gain traction or popularity. You have to dive deep and dig for it. But I think it's an incredible find. Just like I think that these UFOs that we saw today are very interesting, even though they're a bit questionable. I think the most interesting and biggest important piece of information, though, came from that document. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on this document and on the UFOs as well. But this document has me like my mind is blown, y'all. My mind is blown. Leave a comment below, smash that like and subscribe. Make sure you join the Discord. Smash that dislike if you didn't like this video. I don't care. Just make sure your opinion is known, right? If you didn't like it, hit dislike. YouTube will recommend less of it. Y'all are absolutely incredible. Thank you for tuning in. I love y'all. Keep your phones ready and keep looking up.